Most music fans agree the 1990s were one of the most pivotal decades in music. Pop went grunge, hip-hop went mainstream, and even country music was turned a little on its side. One of the biggest impact players during this time was a brand new artist named Collin Raye.
But that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
16 #1 singles later, over 7 million albums sold, and even a highway named after him, Collin Raye has cemented himself as one of the greatest the business has ever seen.
Backstage with one of my heroes of all time, and no, you're gonna say, well, you probably say it to everybody, but I mean this because I went to my first country music show when I was about 12, 13 years old, and headlining was Tanya Tucker, and right under her was Collin Raye.
It would have been about 93, 94.
Exactly.
I'll thank you for that, Mike. That's a tremendous compliment because from someone in the business who hears an awful lot of music, that always means a great deal to me if I hear something like that. I remember that tour.
I've only saved this pose for two people. One was Garth Brooks, the other was Bret the Hitman Hart. But
oh, you know Bret too. I know the Hart family pretty well.
Awesome.
From back in the. I'm honored to say. In fact, we were in Calgary last week. There's Allison and Ellie and Ross. Their brother Ross came and a bunch of the family, BJ. And we've known the Hart family since before Owen passed away.
One boy, one girl, two hearts beating wildly. To put it mildly, it was love at first sight.
He was the closest to us. He was like my son's idol and hero, and had always been so good to our family. And when he fell in Kansas City, it was kind of stopped us from watching wrestling for a while. And but through that, we got to know Bret pretty well. And for someone who appreciates wrestling, I've watched it all my life and learned from the back how things work. You learn to appreciate a technician and an artist like Bret Hart because it is an art form. Anybody that thinks it's just, well, it's scripted, so what? It's very rough.
Collin Raye just became my new best friend. I have a feeling we could have a 9-hour conversation. Yeah.
And I think no wrestler in history, and closest to him would have been Owen. But the Hart family was so good at that, and all of them are that way. But Bret was just so much
cool.
It was so much fun. And every time I'm in Calgary, he's gone. And now he's back with the company doing some of the things, and so he's not around that much anymore. But I love him. He's a good guy.
But enough about that guy. Let's talk about you.
Let's talk about me.
Let's talk about you. Still on the road. You know what? There's a sold-out showroom out there waiting for you right now. That's got to feel good.
Always. That's my two favorite words in the world is sold out. And I just, like I said, Alberta's always been, I guess, my favorite province because I've spent the most time here compared to the others. A lot of it because of those guys, but I love Alberta. It's beautiful, gorgeous. I think, up around Banff and Lake Louise is the most gorgeous thing, most gorgeous country I've ever laid eyes on. I love it up here. And the people here are always so welcoming, and it's what I've said this many times, this in the last week or so since we've been on tour, but the fans in Canada seem to be a little more knowledgeable of your music than, say, the States fans. In the States, it's more like, what have you done lately? How many times have we seen you on TV lately? Have you done American Idol? Are they come because they?
Are you from American Idol?
Yeah. They know one song. They know "Love Me," or they know "That's My Story," or they know "In This Life," and they come to hear that one song. And then they hear all the other hits and they go, oh, I forgot about all those. To where the Canadian fans know what they're coming to, and the requests we get are a wide variety, very eclectic mix of songs, some of which I can't remember the words to.
Wow.
And that makes an artist feel good because you go, man, you really know my stuff. And it's been that way. I can't say the last time I finished a mini tour that I wasn't ready to get back home. And me and Mel, my piano player, and I were talking about it today. We could just keep on going. This has been such a fun time.
I can still feel you. 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 Yeah.
You mentioned all the hits, but the great thing about Collin Raye is that you're still making music. Tell us about the latest project.
Thank you. I'm so thankful. I'm with a team that I've dreamed of being with forever, as far as management, and we love everything we got going. We love our agency. We love who's also based out of Toronto, as a matter of fact. But we've got a good team, and we're all on the same page, and we all feel the same way about things. We want the same things. And God has really blessed us lately by opening some really big doors to do some projects we've wanted to do for a long time, and they're happening now. I have a new song that I'll play tonight called Undefeated, which is a song I wrote a few months back. I had not to go into detail, but I had a really rough year family-wise. We had a loss in the family that was pretty overwhelming, and you know, I didn't think we was going to get through it, and by golly, we did. And we're still trudging forward and trying to make lemonade out of lemons. And I think that's where that song came from.
Fill my cup when I'm used up and poured out, so depleted. You are my life, you make things right, so I stand undefeated.
Will be the featured song on the new album we're recording as soon as we get back from this tour, and in March, and we hope to have it finished by the end of March, have it released in May is what we're hoping for. And it will be new songs mixed with about 8 to 9 of our biggest hits, cut new style, updated.
Oh, nice.
So they won't sound exactly like the originals, and that's what this company wants to do with us. They want to say, well, let's bring out new music, but because if you come hear my songs live, they sound a little different than they, you know, just through the years they evolve, you know. And it'll sound better or different, I should say.
Looking forward to it. Your road manager and bass player is sitting here checking his watch. You got to get out on the stage. So, Collin Raye, thank you for taking the time. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Appreciate it.